First, I'd like to give an all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushai, Ba'Shem, Kadash. Secondly, I'd like to give a double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who taught us His truth. Salutation to the Akim out there doing the same throughout the four winds. And salutation to the hopeful elect. Alright, the name of this lesson is Esau Can't Stop the Truth. Alright, and Esau is who the world identifies or calls a so-called white man, or what he calls himself. But according to the scriptures, his biblical nationality is, the Edomites, Esau. Alright? And basically, it was very similar to the past lesson, to the lesson I did prior to this one. The so-called white man, he's on a media frenzy. After those Israelites out there were cursing out the boys, the students from that Catholic church. But, he's trying to basically lump all the groups together, and he's trying to demonize the Israelites. But what he doesn't understand is that no matter what he does, he can't stop this truth. Alright, and in reality, what he did is just give us more exposure, which is also why the pacing of the videos is a little different as well. Mm-hmm. Because me and this brother were just talking about it not too long ago. When Esau does things like that, one of the reasons I've seen videos on YouTube that, why is it now that the Israelites are getting that they're getting cover, or like that the news is covering them? Well, it's because Esau's well aware that every time that he exposes or he puts the Israelites out on in the public view, there's going to be people who look it up, and there's going to be people who are going to be brought into the fold. All right, and every time another soul gets added into, Lord willing, being part of that elect, man, it means quicker for us to get out of here, quicker for salvation. All right, so that's why he doesn't do it. But and I guess the Lord had it to where he exposed the Israelites, obviously, into the public eye, obviously demonizing them at the same time. But he can't. No matter how much you try to demonize, this truth, it's always gonna come back stronger.
Yep, it's gonna benefit.
And it's gonna benefit.
Come. You're still doing the Lord's will because it's still bringing the truth out.
Come. And at the end of the day, the Lord is the one controlling it anyway. So either way, Esau, there's no fighting it. So this is Matthew 10 and 17. I'm going to go down to 24. It says, "Behold, I sent you forth as sheep in the midst." Oh, Salaki, that was 16. Verse 17, this is all in the red, meaning Yahushai, who the world literally calls Jesus Christ, is speaking. It says, "But beware of men, for they will deliver you up to the councils, and they will scourge you in their synagogues." All right? So that's talking about men going up against those men out there doing the work of Yahweh Yahushai. So, at some point we're gonna be really persecuted for bringing out this word. Mm-hmm. It says they will scourge you in their synagogues. All right? It says, "And ye shall be brought out before governors and kings for my sake." All right? That's exactly what I was just going into, for a testimony against them and the Gentiles. All right? Verse 19, it says, "But when they deliver you, take no thought how or what ye shall speak." All right? So take no thought about what ye shall speak, man. The Lord is going to, at that time when you get persecuted for this truth, the Lord is going to put it in your spirit to know what to say. It says, "For it is not ye that speak, but the Spirit of your Father, which speaketh in you." All right? So Yahweh, who the world really calls God, all right, he's going to put the Spirit on you. He's going to give you what to say. It says, "And the brother shall deliver up the brother to death, and the father the child, and the children shall rise up against their parents and cause them to be put to death." All right? So it's going to come a time to where this truth is going to be so radicalized and so what's the word? So demonized, exactly, that you're gonna have family members, giving up people, turning you in, man, for money, for food, for anything, man,
to survive. Esau might have a gun to their head, but like, "Where's your son?" And then there's gonna be so much pressure like Esau putting them in a chokehold, figuratively speaking. Okay, I know where he's at. Boom.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why you gotta have faith.
God. It says, "And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but he that endures shall to the end shall be saved." All right, so we're gonna be persecuted for this truth, and ultimately for the word of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, and for the scriptures.
Because it's a future prophecy.
God, it's a future prophecy. The downfall of this kingdom is written in this book. All right, and we're coming closer and closer to that every day. So the so-called white man, he's scrambling.
Yep.
All right. No matter how much he wants to discredit the Bible and say that it's a book of fairy tales, deep down, the ones who matter, the elites, all right, the elites of the society, they know that their time is coming to an end.
So they're gonna come down with great wrath, because the scripture says the devil shall come down with great wrath, because he knows that he has a short time.
That's right. It says, "But when they persecute you in this city, flee ye into another, for verily I say unto you, ye shall not have gone over the cities of Israel till the Son of Man be come." All right. So nothing's really gonna, like, the Lord is in control of everything, man. All right. So they're gonna persecute you. They're gonna do everything in their power to try to get to you, man.
Try to break you.
But all that is gonna come to an end, man, when the Lord comes down, man. They're gonna try to break you. All right, and these are all things that the Lord went through, man. And it says the disciple is not above his master, nor the servant above his Lord. All right, so all the things that Yahweh Shai went through, we're gonna go through. All right, this is let me get this right here. This is 2 Corinthians 13:8, and it says, "For we can do nothing against the truth before the truth," and that goes to the so-called white man too. All right, the so-called white man isn't doing anything by pasting, those, by exposing those Israelites, whether they're from our camp or not. They're bringing exposure regardless.
They're bringing light to the truth.
And they're bringing light to the truth, because even though, okay, maybe those guys, we don't agree with them completely on their doctrine, at the end of the day, what they were saying was truth. They were bringing out that the so-called white man is going to go into slavery. Mm-hmm. They were bringing out that the so-called white man is a natural born killer, and he is the plague on the earth. All right, those are all things that we do agree with. All right, and at the end of the day, they're out there doing that for Yahweh Shai. They're doing the same thing that Yahweh Shai was doing. All right, so even though, yeah, maybe that's not our camp, they're still out there doing the will of the Lord. Mm-hmm. All right, and the Lord deals with them. But as far as I'm concerned, they were doing the work of the Lord regardless. Because they also exposed themselves. Mm-hmm. And then again, they exposed themselves. That made the media bring them out. Now the media's covering them. Now other people are looking it up. So everything. The Lord's in control of everything, man.
Exactly.
So they're doing the work. Even though maybe they go off on X, Y, and Z. They go off on the chip. They go off on the RFID being the mark of the beast of the scriptures. Okay, maybe they go off on various things, but they're still out there doing the work. So then you let the Lord deal with them on that capacity. But as far as this situation goes, they're out there doing the work regardless, and they're going to bring exposure to the whole movement. And then how Esau does things, he likes to lump everyone together. Mm-hmm. All right?
But at the end of the day, point blank period, they're going to know that who the real men of the Lord are. When the real prophecies, well, not the real prophecies, when the heavy prophecies start happening, then they're going to come, people that were scoffing at one point are going to come and search out brothers like us, Lord willing, and the apostles, but the Lord's going to put us away to keep us hidden. And protect his prophets that are doing his will.
And even in those camps that maybe they are going off, man, there's going to be those men who are eventually going to step out of those camps. Mm-hmm. And they're going to come into the right fold. Mm-hmm. All right? Because again, I always hear I heard Apostle Rakah say this, man, weekends in a row. Always. He always says it, and it always stuck to me. It's just less about a camp. Like a camp doesn't mean anything, man. Like it does to an extent, but it's more about Yahweh Shai.
Exactly. It's the power of Yahweh.
It's about the Lord, man. This isn't about men. This isn't about us. This isn't about a camp. This isn't about Great Millstone. Even though, yes, we are part of Great Millstone, and the Lord is most definitely dealing with Great Millstone. And just like how there's wicked men in those other camps, I'm sure there's wicked men in Great Millstone too, because at the end of the day, we're dealing with men.
Flesh, yeah.
We're dealing with flesh. But regardless of all that, it's about the Lord. It's about the truth. You understand? And that's what it comes down to. It's all about the truth, man. It's not about anything else but the truth. And about the Lord. You know? This is John 15 and 19. If ye were of the world will love his own. Alright? So this is in red, meaning Yahushua was speaking about it. He was saying this. It says, if ye were of the world will love his own. If you were out there preaching prosperity, preaching to follow the white man and that we got to forgive our enemy and forgive the white man for everything that he's done, then of course everyone would support us.
Exactly.
All right, because that belief, that mentality is of the world. It says, but because ye are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you. All right, so the world is going to hate us because we don't think like that. We don't align our beliefs, and our morals don't align with that. We're with the world, because the Lord has chosen us to be like that. The Lord has chosen us. You know, that's a key word. We didn't go into this, man. The Lord pulled us into this. All right? Verse 20 says, remember the word that I said unto you, the servant is not greater than his Lord. If they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you. If they have kept my saying, they will keep yours also. All right? So whatever they did to the Lord, they're going to do to us. Maybe in a lighter capacity. Mm-hmm. You know, but ultimately, there's going to be people who are going to be put to death for this truth. You know? Yeah. You know, you come into this thing and you know that this is something that you can most definitely die for.
So you have to count the cost.
Come. It says, verse 21, but all these things will they do unto you for my name's sake, because they know not him that sent me. All right? So they don't know that what they're dealing with. All right, you can kill us. Right? You can slander us, but guess what? That's not going to stop the fact that you're dealing with a higher power bigger than you, bigger than anything, man. You're dealing with the creator of everything that exists. With the creator of existence. Try to wrap your head around that one. You know? So it's beyond us. It's beyond men. It's beyond camps.
It's beyond earth.
It's beyond earth. This is something that is beyond ourselves. You know? So whatever they do to you, man, just know that Yahushua went through the same, and we're no exception. We're gonna have to go through that fire too, and that's just gonna test our faith.
Like, can I say something? This, you know, just to build, you know, to expound on what the brother's saying. Let's say you're.
I'm good.
Let's say you're being what's the word? Tortured. It's like it. You're being tortured by Esau. You know, the Lord's in control of everything. So the Lord might put the spirit on you to really be going through some stuff that you can't even imagine, some stuff you've seen in a movie, Hostel, right? But you don't feel nothing. You're just there, but you're going through it. You know, like I don't know how else to explain it, but you know, you know, like the movie of the Avengers: Infinity War. In that movie, Thanos was Yahushua. He got the Infinity Stones, and he could control reality. He had power, time, etc. That's ultimately the Lord times infinity. The Lord's literally in control of everything. Like if you ever, like for example, stubbed your toe, right? But at 1 second it hurt, but then it didn't hurt after that. That's the Lord controlling the pain receptors in your nervous system. The Lord literally in control of everything that you can imagine that you can't imagine. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? But don't get too twisted. You know, you wrap your head around that and drive yourself crazy.
That's right. You good?
2 Corinthians chapter 10 verse 4. For the weapons of warfare are not carnal.
Read it again.
For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, Salakia, but mighty through Yahweh to the pulling down of strongholds. So yeah, the weapons of our warfare are not carnal. The Lord uses his prophets to do his will. And it's ultimately the Lord speaking through us. What we're going through, like in Ephesians 6 and 12, for we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities and higher places. We're not, you're going against things that you can't see with the naked eye. Only the spiritual mind can see. And some brothers actually have that gift. As we speak, they can see things that other brothers can't. But, ultimately, those principalities is talking about Esau, but we're talking about also, it's twofold. We're talking about stuff that's going on in the heavens, stuff that's getting ordained by Yahweh Yahushua. And it says, for the weapons of our warfare are not carnal. That's why we put on the breastplate of salvation, or the helmet of salvation in Ephesians chapter 6, if you can pull that out if you want to. Like we're going to, we're battling elements when we're on the highways and byways. Right now it's 10 degrees. We got camp tomorrow. We're going against the cold weather. We're going against people scoffing. No telling what Esau's, silent weapons he's been trying to use on people, this, that, and forth. You got 4G converting into 5G. You got it?
God.
Yeah.
Here's Ephesians 6 and 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places.
Yeah, so you ultimately, those principalities in high places is talking about Esau, but again, like I said, we're talking about demons in the higher realm. We're talking about angels in the higher realm. We're stuff that's going on around us that we can't see. So the weapons of our warfare are not carnal. But soon it will get carnal. But right now we're bringing down the strongholds with
with our words,
with our
spirit,
with the Lord's words.
Con with the Lord's words.
With the Lord's words. And I wanted to bring this out on a precept off of 2 Corinthians chapter 10 verse 4, and then Ephesians 6 and 12. Jeremiah chapter 23 verse 29. Is not my word like as a fire, saith the Lord, and like a hammer that breaketh the rock in pieces? When we speak these words, we're tearing down Esau's rulership bit by bit. Think of a
chisel.
Yeah, a chisel. Just do. We're consistent. The apostles bring out 4 or 5 videos a day, let alone the prophets, the elders above us, and below the apostles, every day. So you got about 1,000 videos coming out a day from the brothers from other camps, from the other churches. So 2 Corinthians chapter 10 verse 4, for the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through Yahweh to the pulling down of the strongholds, to the pulling down of Esau's rulership.
Con. 1 second. Con.
Yeah, and the last scripture I read was Jeremiah 23 and 29, and a precept off of that is Hebrews 4 and 12. For the word of Yahweh is quick and powerful, and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of the soul and spirit, and of the joints and marrow, and is a discerner of thoughts and intents of the heart. So this is how powerful the Lord's words are. That's all we need. All we need is the Lord's word, His name, and build your faith. But ultimately, all you need is faith. This scripture shows you how powerful the Lord's word is, and that like in 2 Corinthians chapter 10 verse 4, that for the weapons of our warfare are not carnal. So what's our defense besides the Lord's name, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, His word that He gave us in this book?
Yep, as a comforter. He gave us a word as a comforter. All right, because this book, it tells, it has our laws in them. It has the stories of the prophets who were around during the time of a fallen kingdom, such as we are prophets, living at a time when the kingdom is about to fall. Because the Lord has always set out his prophets when a kingdom is about to fall.
That's how you know a kingdom's about to fall, when you start seeing the prophets out and about on the highways and byways. That's when you, if you're in the know, in somewhat of the know through the spirit, you be like, oh snap, something's about to happen. The Lord's not playing. I see a camp over here. I see a camp over there. Oh, now they got camps. They got the camp on the news. Something's about to happen. You know. Romans chapter 3 verse 3. For what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of Yahweh without effect? And that's a question. Yahweh forbid. Yea, let Yahweh be true, but every man a liar, as it is written, that thou mightest be justified in the sayings, and the mightiest overcome when they aren't judged. So yeah, so just because you're on, let's say you're a prophet, you're on the highways and byways, and someone comes up and contests to what you're saying, and you're bringing out precepts, out of precepts, but they still can't believe. One, it wasn't for them. Even if they're, an Israelite, it's not for them, or it's not their time for the Lord hasn't woken them up, or opened their spirit up to receive the message. But just because they don't believe, that shouldn't bring down your faith in these scriptures. And
it doesn't do anything to the truth.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything to the truth.
For example, the so-called white man, he doesn't believe in this truth. All right, he thinks that we're, the average white man, because the elites, they know what they're doing. They know everything. That's why they call themselves the Illuminati. All right, because they see everything. They have all the records. All right, on a carnal level, they see everything. They have all the records. They have everything. They know exactly what they're doing. They know who they have in suppression. They know exactly what they're doing. But guess what? Joe Sixpack, as Apostle Tahar likes to say, these regular people out there, maybe even people watching the news, those little Edomite Catholic kids that were there, looking proud as hell. So what? It doesn't make the truth less valid. All right? Because the truth is the truth no matter what. The Lord is in control.
And soon you're going to really see the truth when these plagues hit America like they're hitting Venezuela. They're going to hit Babylon, a.k.a. America, on a whole different level than what's going on in Venezuela. Because the Lord is not a liar. He is not slack to what he says, roughly paraphrasing. When the Lord comes down on America, he's really going to come down. And you see with EBT and WIC and all these, the government shutdown, that's not even the icing of the cake of what the judgment's about to come, what's about to happen here in Babylon.
Yeah, that's nothing.
That's nothing.
That's nothing I'll be worried about, Slaki.
Yeah, no, you good. You still got heat in your house. You still got running water. You still got a so-called job. You still going out drinking, going to the pub and drinking beer and whatnot. It ain't gonna be none of that. You still got 911. Yeah, like you women can still call 911. When the shit hits the fan, you're gonna know.
Last one.
Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 8. Therefore wait ye upon me, saith the Lord, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them mine indignation, even all my fierce anger. For all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy.
Read it one more time.
So, Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 8. Therefore wait ye upon me.
All right, so wait upon the Lord. That's what he's saying. He said, wait upon me. All right, and why do we have to wait on the Lord? Because like he said, like the brother said in the previous scripture he brought on 2 Corinthians, if the weapons of our warfare are not carnal but spiritual, why are our weapons spiritual? It's because we can't contest the so-called white man on a level of carnality. All right, with his technology. All right, with his, that's his blessing. Mm-hmm. But guess what? Yahweh Shai can't contest with him because Yahweh Shai gave him that blessing. All through the spirit of Yahweh. Mm-hmm. So we can't contest with the so-called white man on a physical level, but Yahweh Shai can. So that's why he said to wait upon him. And not only that, but you got to remember that Yahweh Shai, has a bone to pick, all right, with the other nations, with the so-called white man, and even his own people, all right. So we can't put our hands on the white man before Yahweh Shai. You know, Yahweh Shai was on this earth as a god, and he had to die like a man at the hands of this pig, of this beast. So that's why he's saying, wait upon him. Because the Lord is the one who needs to take care of the so-called white man. Because he's the one that deserves, like, you know, you might feel like, oh man, I can't wait to get my hands on these heathens. But imagine how Yahweh Shai feel.
Yep.
That he's waiting. He doesn't even know the time appointed for when Yahweh, who the world didn't really call God, he doesn't even know the time when Yahweh is going to give the order to come down here and wreak havoc. So if we're itching to put our hands on the so-called white man and on these other nations and even on our own people, imagine Yahweh Shai. So that's why he said, wait upon me. All right, go on.
Save the Lord unto the day that I rise up to the prey.
All right, the Lord is going to rise up to the prey.
For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them my indignation, even all my fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy.
Yep, there's only so much one man can do. You know, even if, okay, you could be trained, you could know martial arts, or you could be so-called ex-military. There's only so much you can do, man. But with the Lord, what Yahweh Shai is going to do, all right, he's talking about assembling nations. He's talking about creating war. He's talking about completely obliterating people. He's not talking about, oh yeah, I'm a get a few shots. You know how you see these so-called school shooters or these dumbass Islamic terrorists, you know, that they blow themselves up and take 36 people with them or 40 people with them. So what? That's nothing compared to what the Lord's gonna do. You know, the Lord is gonna the Lord, when the Lord comes back, he's taking whole countries with him. The entire, you know, as they call it, the geopolitical shift, like the geopolitics, like the geopolitical, you know, scenario is completely gonna change when Yahweh Shai comes back, man. It's gonna go from Esau being on the top to Esau being in the bottom, and the other nations being in the bottom, and the Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and the people that descend from them being at the top. That's the type of stuff that Yahweh Shai is gonna do.
Major chess move.
It's gonna be a checkmate. Exactly. It's not gonna be a, you know, oh yeah, you know, yeah, one guy or 20 guys or even 1,000 guys, they run up, they do a little something, and then everything continues being the same. No, when the Lord comes back, that's gonna be it.
It's a takeover.
Yeah, it's a complete takeover.
He's taking the crowns of the kings of the other nations, point blank, period. And it's gonna ultimately have Esau. He has Esau in a trick bag because he's gonna use Esau's blessing against his own self.
God.
And he's gonna cleanse the earth at the same time. There's gonna be so much stuff going on that you're gonna need a prophet to understand what the hell's going on. And I mean, yeah. Can I read this right quick?
God.
Last scripture, Ezekiel chapter 22, verse 20. As they gather silver and brass and iron and lead and tin into the midst of the furnace to blow the fire upon it, to melt it, so will I gather you in mine anger and in my fury. I will leave you there and melt you. Yea, I will gather you and blow upon you in the fire of my wrath, and ye shall be melted in the midst thereof. As silver is melted in the midst of the furnace, so shall ye be melted in the midst thereof. And ye shall know that I, the Lord, have poured out my fury upon you. And the word of the Lord came unto me. That's it. But yeah, that the Lord's saying that he's coming back with fierce anger, and he's coming to melt people. I was about to cuss. He's coming back to really lay down his power. He's about to really display the power of the heavens.
God.
Is he not the son of Yahweh?
God. I mean, when he was here on the scene, he told one of the soldiers, do I not have the power to summon a legion of angels?
That's 7,000.
Roughly paraphrasing. So imagine that was him as a man on earth, flesh, like us, skin and all that. So imagine when he comes back, that, in the scriptures, he said he's not going to meet us as a man. All right. So imagine what kind of, first of all, it's been a while. All right. I mean, it's been a while for us. It's been
2 days.
It's been 2 days for the Lord, but 2 days is long enough.
And he has to come back. It's Omen Nomen, like the elder Barack Obama brought out. It's Omen Nomen. Yahushua means he saves or he delivers. So he has to live up to that name.
And save his people.
And save the elect of his people first and foremost, and then the 1/3, which is only 30% of Israel. If you go 3 into 1, is 33.333 repeated. And then when you round that, it's under 5, so that's 30%.
Yeah, it's under half.
It's under half. So then 30%, how do you get to 100? You add 7 or 70. So 70% of Israel has to die here in America and in the other 4 corners of the earth.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately here in the ultimate battle judgment zone is Babylon, America.
That's right. So the Lord, what you saying?
The Lord's not playing. Mm-hmm. And that's why these are not our words. These are not my words. I'm speaking what the Lord has given me, and so he's speaking through me, and speaking through this brother, and speaking through my elders, and speaking through my apostles.
Come. The Lord, when the Lord comes, like, we don't need to do anything, man. All we need to do is continue to read, continue to do these videos, go out to camp, and let this thing play out, man. There's no, Esau think that he's gonna, make us the villain, but he has no idea that we can't do anything.
Exactly.
If he can't do anything to stop the judgment, and he's in power, all right. He's a so-called white man. He's at the top. He has all the guns. He has all the technology. He has all the money at his disposal. If he can't do anything, what are some guys in some tunics and some Bibles on a street corner with a few signs? What are they gonna do? What we're doing is that we are bringing the Lord's word out
to existence.
And then the Lord is going to take care of the rest. We don't need to use our hands. We don't need to get carnal. There's no point. Because at the end of it, there's no punishment that we can render with these bodies. The Lord is coming back. He said the Lord said he's not coming back as a man. The punishment that the Lord is going to be rendering is going to be complete. It's going to be spiritual. It's going to be him pulling souls right out of people. Like, you can't do that.
Eviscerating people with the chariots,
exactly.
Laser beams, stuff you've seen in the movie World of Worlds and whatnot. The stuff that you see in the movies, that's what Esau is basically. Esau's prophesying through his movies. And the average person be like, oh, that's too far-fetched, that's not going to happen. But yet the angels are in the so-called UFOs. That's in the Bible. In the chariots, the Lord's coming back to exalt his people back to rulership and bring down the people that are in this rulership right now to an all-time low.
That's right. Indefinitely. For forever.
Yeah. You're gonna, you heathen nations. Ultimately, Esau is gonna serve 1,000 years of hardcore slavery, and then Esau will be wiped off the face of the earth, and then the rest of you heathens will live somewhat peacefully in your own land, but you guys will have the curses on you, and the 144,000 elect are gonna render judgment.
They're gonna be the governing body.
The governing body, the governing police of the universe.
That's right.
And that's not. This place has already been destroyed. We're just living it out. We're just going through the movie.
That's right.
And the main characters of this movie is Jacob, aka Israel, and Esau, aka the so-called white man. The rest of you heathen nations are just casualties of war.
That's right. Just extras.
Extras.
So Esau can't stop this truth. All right. You can't stop the Lord. We can't do anything.
Exactly.
All right. You can't do anything for the truth, but that's you can't do anything to the truth that isn't gonna help the truth.
Exactly. If you talk about the truth, even in a negative way, you're still bringing out the truth.
Yep. Which is exactly why, a brother had shared a post. And it was a Glenn Beck. I encourage brothers to go and look it up if you see it, or maybe I'll put the link in the video after I upload it. But basically, Glenn Beck is talking about how, why hasn't the media covered this? Why are we finding out about this? And it's because in their spirit, these people know that what the Israelites are bringing out, whether they're part of Green Millstone or not, their underlying message, which is the same across the board, that Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans and the people that descend from them are Israelites and are the true Israelites, and that the powers, the ultimate power, Yahweh, and Yahweh Shai are so-called black men. All right, those bare bones points are true. So by them exposing the public to it, what they're doing is that they're actually jeopardizing the information becoming more mainstream and becoming more researched, which is bad for them, because now that can, everything's in the hands of the Lord, but that can, spark curiosity.
And that will go all that the biggest lie told on earth will be brought to light, that the so-called Jesus Christ is a white man, God is a white man, the angels are little babies with naked babies, and the Catholic Church are a bunch of pedophiles. All that truth will be coming out, and that will cause an uproar of the people.
That's right.
Finish up. They've been lied to for all these years, and now we're just hearing the truth is just coming out in 2019, when the truth been coming out since the 70s and 80s by a prophet named Abba Bivens.
Probably even before that, you never know.
Yeah, but the truth has been out. It's just now, the Lord's...
We're getting closer.
The latter times, aka the end times, is getting closer and closer and closer, where the doors of grace are going to close, and then judgment. And you're going to see a lot of mass death. But you're not going to hear this in your churches. Judgment is coming, and if you're not right, if you're not on the side of the right side of the Lord, or the right hand of the Lord, you'll be judged for your works.
That's right. Anything else? God. So Esau can't stop this truth, right? So we hope this lesson was edifying. I'd like to give in all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakal Kadash. All right. Double honors to the apostles of Green Millstone. All right. Salutations to the hopeful elect and to you brothers out there, doing the work. And hope this lesson was edifying. And until next time, shalom.
Shalom.